What's going on today, YouTubers? Welcome to another edition of Walking Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at a custom knife that I picked up from the New York Custom Knife Show from a really nice guy, someone that I always look forward to seeing at these shows, just because he's incredibly friendly, and he's also very knowledgeable about his craft. This is his newest model, called the Splitter, and it is John Gray, the maker. There's his maker's mark on the blade. This is a really interesting piece and not something that I myself would normally buy or carry, but after getting to handle it at the show, you can kind of get an idea of why I ended up buying it. It's unlike anything I have in my collection. I respect John Gray's skills as a maker, but I always figured the knives he made were for a different kind of consumer, I guess. I prefer knives that I can use in the office for kind of light duty, and this is a pretty serious piece of metal here. This is the slimmest and lightest model that he's made, which was one of the selling points for me, but also just the detail and the time that went into making this sold me on it as well. So real quick, let's go ahead and jump into the specs. We have a 3.5-inch blade of AEBL steel, and it's got this kind of Tonto-ish shape, I guess. I don't know what else to call it other than like sort of a semi-Tonto. It is chisel ground, you can see. On this side, it's got a hand rubbed satin finish with going the length of the blade on the flats here, and then going vertically in the groove. That's John Gray's maker's mark. I like his maker's mark more than most. It's symmetrical, it's clean, it's not gaudy at all. I just really like that maker's mark. And then you can see here on the chisel side, the mirror polish he did. Just incredible work. Yeah, he did a really fantastic mirror polish here on the flats, and then again that hand rubbed satin in the grooves. Just a really amazing job, and a lot of time spent on just the blade, and that's not even getting to the handle yet. So 3.5 inches on the blade. The handle length is, if you're counting just the scale part here, the handle length is just over 4.5 inches, but if you include the splitter thing here, then that takes us up to 4 3/4. So overall length just over 8 inches. The show side scale here is a distressed looking carbon fiber. I have never seen anyone do carbon fiber like this, and this was the number 2 selling point for me. Just looks amazing. It looks almost like aged wood or something, but you can see here the layers of the carbon fiber. I was having a chat with him about how he achieved this look, but it went over my head. Suffice to say, it took a lot of doing and a lot of elbow grease to get it to look like this. The lock side is titanium that has been anodized incredibly well. It's like a golden reddish hue. It's almost the color of a sunset. You can see the pocket clip there is 3D milled titanium, and it's been orange peeled. And the scale itself has texturing done to it as well. It's not an orange peel. Well, I guess you could call that an orange peel. But it's not an orange peel. It's more of a, 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 it's more because it does have like the little almost divots in it, but not quite as pronounced as the pocket clip. And then the splitter here is titanium as well, I believe, with that orange peel finish again. He did sort of like a semi-hidden hardware on the pocket clip and on the scale as well. You can see the lockup there. Extremely secure lockup. It's a little bit early for my taste, but I mean, I crank on this blade and it does not move. This does ride on caged bearings, as you can see there. And I mean, the action is just ridiculously smooth. I think some of that has to do with the weight of the blade. This is a fairly hefty knife. It's close to 4.5 ounces, even with the carbon fiber. But the slimness and the smoothness and just the eye-catching features of this knife, I actually do carry this on occasion, and that's saying something. For a knife that's this size, being pretty much out of my wheelhouse, the fact that I still put it in my pocket just because, you know, I want to do that. I want to play with it, and if there's going to be other knife people around, I want to show it off. The flipping action is extremely fast, and it's just so smooth. And it was like this when I picked it up from the table. You know, this isn't like break-in period stuff. This is just, I picked it up from his table, boom, and it flipped that well the first time. Also, another kind of cool feature, you can open the, oh, no, I'm gonna, it's gonna make a liar out of me. Yeah, you can open the knife with that groove. Sorry, my hands are a little bit cold. It's like getting close to freezing here. But you can open the knife with that groove, which is kind of cool. I've never been a huge fan of the look of a chisel grind. I prefer symmetrical, but I can't deny the effectiveness. I was testing it out, just kind of like shaving hair off my arm, and it was popping the fucking hair off. This thing is crazy sharp. The blade shape is a little aggressive for my taste, but there's just something so, it just fits, you know? The whole package, it just fits. He did such a tremendous job putting this knife together, which was why I was more than happy to pay for this knife and to support a maker who's doing work that's not like everybody else, you know? I've already seen that he's, at the time, I think this was his slimmest and kind of lightest knife that he had made. But I see that he's starting to go even smaller. I've seen one with a 3¼ inch blade in a much more EDC friendly size. And if you guys ever get the chance to pick up one of his knives, not only are you going to love, I mean, look at that action. Not only are you going to love the knife, but you can know that you supported somebody who's a genuinely good person. The fit and finish is perfect. It's kind of hard to tell with a chisel ground blade, but the centering is just spot on. There's nothing that hasn't been gone over, that hasn't been, you know, everything. He made sure everything was going to work perfectly before he put this on his table, and I definitely respect that. Yeah, that's about it for this. If you guys ever get a chance and you're in a position where you can afford one of John's knives, they're a little bit pricey. I think they go from about $700 up to about $1,500, depending on materials and finishes. And if that's in your price range, awesome. Definitely pick one up. They're more than worth it. I've paid more for less knife. So yeah, if you guys ever get a chance, definitely check him out. Super nice guy, and he'll talk your ear off about knives, you know. If you have any questions or any, you know, ideas or whatever, he will take the time. He's that into the craft, and that's genuinely cool. You know, there's not all of them are. Not all of the makers that you respect are. Some of them are, you know, happy to just take your money and say see you later. But John will take the time and actually tell you the story of your knife. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't entered the giveaway, definitely do that. It ends tomorrow, and I have so many knives to review. I have a pretty bad backlog right now, but the holiday season's a little bit busy, so I'll keep trying to crank them out as fast as I can. And so stay tuned, guys. Take it easy.